going on?
What's up?
Happy Monday.
Yeah,
Welcome back from Michigan.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Both of us. We missed you.
Welcome back to the podcast. My name's Parker, and I'm joined back to the core three by my two brothers, Granger and Tyler.
Did
Fresh.
you do one without us because we're in Michigan?
Yeah, we did one with Brian, and Zach made his appearance, and we talked a little bit about the beginnings of the Ye Life YouTube channel and behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
How was Michigan?
It was awesome.
What part of Michigan did you guys go to?
Walloon.
Northern Michigan, just south of Petoskey. I wish I was there right now. It's really warm here. Yeah, one of our pastors at our church is there right now with his family. Did you know that?
In Walloon?
They're in Traverse City.
Oh, Stephen, because
Mhm.
of family.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Love Michigan. I've all the years that I toured it, I always wanted to go and enjoy it with my family, and so it was really nice. We have an Aunt Jenny, that lives there, so we went and stayed with her. It was great.
Growing up, they were from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then right in like mid-spring, right when it starts to get real hot in Texas, maybe late spring, they would leave to go to their lake house in Michigan, and then they would stay there until it got too cold, and then they would come back down south. They migrate with the weather.
We talked about doing a Christmas there. What would you think about that?
It's awesome. It's just it would be hard to, like you said, you got to take 2 planes, and then you have to drive like 3 hours, so it'd just be hard to do.
We could
With
drive
the
the whole thing 18 hours.
I guess David would be around 2.
Stop in Memphis, get a little rendezvous.
Yeah. I think it's Memphis, St. Louis, maybe Indy, Detroit, something like that.
What was the temperature like in Michigan? Like, what's it like right now?
The mornings are in the high 50s, low 60s, and the days are in the 80s, sometimes
Wow.
70s. Yeah.
I woke up the other morning here, and it was 70. I walked outside, and I was like, this is incredible. What is happening? And I checked the temp, and it was like 70. And I was like, it's not like super cool, but it was just like not really humid and 79 in the morning, and you tell a huge difference. I can't imagine
Yeah, I had
that
my
feeling when you wake up in Michigan and it's in the high 50s or something.
I had my heater on the other morning on my truck at like 5:30 or something,
Yeah, it's
which reminded me. I was like, man, I don't complain about the heat now, but I hate the cold
yeah,
weather.
We had hoodies and stuff, so you need like a hoodie in Michigan. But here, this has been the mildest summer I could remember. It matches a little bit, I think, 4 years ago or so. But yeah, the evenings here have been cooling into the 70s. And Amber and I will go take a walk.
Well, it hasn't hit 100 at all. It
Hadn't
hit like
100.
107 in May, like one day, and that was it all
I remember
year.
that. I remember that. Yeah, so Amber and I take walks in the evening, and it's like, whoa, you could feel a little coolness in the breeze.
What
So-
time?
About 8:15, 8:30.
Yeah, that's right when it starts cooling off because it's still hot up until
Mhm.
8.
Yeah, we have little headlamps, so it's halfway through the walk we're turning the headlamps on because it's dark to give a perspective.
Mhm.
But yeah, we got to enjoy this. Of course, August is here now, so don't know how much longer we're going to have this, but it's really-
College football and deer hunting season, man. That's what I could deal with the cold because of those two things.
So I have a little graphic for you guys for college football. I find it. It's in my college friends group. Here it is. It is a best and worst case predictions in the SEC.
Everybody's got a prediction, though.
I know. So we'll find out yours.
Yeah, you want to say records and then go back on this podcast and see who was right?
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say, like, without looking at schedules. Because you'd have to go through every schedule.
Well, we're talking about A&M, right?
Yeah, this is all of the SEC best and worst case.
I think
scenarios.
Let me say what I think. I think A&M will be 9-3, break the 8-4 barrier, and I think Texas will be 10-2. And I think both those teams will go to the college football playoff.
Ooh. What's the best case scenario for A&M?
Best case, like best season ever, like probably 10-2,
Okay, what's the worst case scenario for A&M?
7-5.
Parker?
Mm,
I'm looking at this graphic from the sky.
Yeah. So I'd say best case scenario is I think I'd say 10-2, the SEC schedule, and then worst case, lose to Notre Dame, lose to Texas, lose to South Carolina at home, lose to Florida. They're definitely losing at LSU. I'd say 6-6.
Okay. What about just off the top of your head, Georgia? Best case, worst case?
I don't know much about Georgia. I mean,
12-0.
based on previous, 12-0 best
worst case,
national
10-2.
champs.
Texas.
Best case 12-0.
Texas best case 12-0. Worst case
Worst case
9-3.
Alabama.
It's Alabama, but best case 12-0. Worst case 7-5.
Oh, this is funny. Tennessee.
I don't know anything about Tennessee.
Why are you laughing so
I'm
much?
laughing at this graphic. I'll show you. It's funny.
Well, that's so stupid.
But it's absolutely true.
Well, you should have said
It's
like
best case 12-0, worst case 0-12.
Well, no,
For every single
you
team.
said
Stupid.
you should have said realistic best case. If we're talking like, oh, I'm tricking you here.
It's not a trick. It's actually, as I was hearing you guys, what's the best case for A&M? And you're like, 10-2. Why would it not be 12-0? And then your worst case, 7-5. Why would it not be 0-12?
Because in no
So
universe
that's
will
funny.
A&M ever be 12-0, even best case.
Really?
Like if
I
you're
don't
being
know. I mean,
truthful,
I'm not-
they've never done that in the history of their school.
I'm not trying to drink any Kool-Aid. I'm just saying let's look at the opposite. The worst case for A&M is 0-12. That's the worst case.
But that'll never happen.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Send that to Chris.
Because when you first look at it, Texas is the first team. He's
Ask
right.
him the question and say, "Hey, what's the best case, worst case for Texas this year? Realistically, be truthful, and then send him that
that's funny.
graphic."
There's something nice about the changing of the seasons. Like each season, like the way God set it up, you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm ready for a little
Except we don't
change.
get seasons in Texas.
It's always just long enough, you know? It's like just long enough. You definitely get 2 seasons in Texas. Well, I'd say you get 3.
What do you think's faster, fall or spring? If you're saying we only get 3.
Fall. I mean, it's like summertime hits wintertime to me. There's not much of a fall, right? Springtime seems to
I
have.
think there is, but fall in Texas is like November, December.
Yeah, maybe.
And like all September, October, you're like wanting it to be fall, but it's just not in Texas. It's 90s until November.
When we hit Valentine's Day, you got about 2 more weeks, and you're going, okay, things are starting to green up, bluebonnets are coming.
Mm-hmm.
March 1st, we enjoy very mild spring all the way till May the 10th is the first time you go, whew, a little hot today.
Yeah.
So you get a solid 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah. It really is an underrated time of the year, I think.
Yeah.
I was telling that to Amy this year. I was like, spring really is incredible.
Yeah.
But fall gets all the hype because everyone loves fall and the holidays.
Fall gets the hype, but what happens in Texas to me specifically is I always forget that the weather is deceiving to Texans because every year we go, oh, what is going on with October? How is it 95? what? And it's like every year we forget. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
Our summer just goes deep.
So it doesn't feel like fall. So it feels like fall just happens like that, because by the time it actually cools off, it's like November 23rd. And you're like, oh, it's like we
It's
got a
freezing.
month. We got a month left before New Year's, and then it's just gonna be the end of the year.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's Thanksgiving and it's freezing, and we're like, what happened? This weather.
Yeah. Yeah, fall feels so short.
Yeah. So we get a solid 3 seasons. Yeah.
So what's been going on with you? Haven't seen you a lot.
There's been a lot of writing, a whole lot of writing. I have a massive seminary paper due in a few days, so that there's a speaking event I have in, the day this podcast comes out, I believe. I should be in, Lord willing, South Dakota, and then speaking at church, word of exhortation, pastoral prayer, and Lord's Supper this weekend.
What do you feel like? Any particular thing that you feel like the Lord's been teaching you through His Word recently?
Sounds
You've
like
kinda
Pastor
honed in
Chad
on?
over there.
This morning, because I have my guys that we read with every morning, and so this morning we talk on Signal, and Aaron Kyle Darnell, and then I have like my secondary circle, like that's my first circle that we go through everything together, and I'm already thinking about because in March we change over at springtime, so I'm already thinking. I'm excited that we get every year we change that circle, but then I've got my secondary and third circles. But in my first, that we read different things. Kantaro's one of those. Stu's one of those. Wilson in Central America is one. Anyway, but in my discipleship circle, we're in 1 Peter 4, and so we kind of like this morning we get into a different discussion every day. But this one, what struck me was verse 10. As each has received a gift, Peter says, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. I was like, what does that mean? I was like trying to meditate on varied grace.
Mm-hmm.
And King James renders that manifold, which is like if you think about an engine with a manifold and an engine, it's a place where multiple things connect. So it's diverse, multiple, but in the Greek, as I was studying that, there was an interesting rendering of it. It is colorful. It's like, oh, God's colorful grace. It's colorful. Very diverse. So
when you first said that, I was thinking varied in terms of like each person gets, like, the scripture teaches each person gets different amounts of faith. But you're saying you're thinking of something different, right?
He's talking in this passage. He's not talking about faith. He's talking about gifts, spiritual gifts.
Okay.
Basically, because right after that, in verse 11, he says, "Whoever speaks, as one who speaks oracles of God. Whoever serves, as one who serves by the strength that God supplies, in order that every good thing." Here's the whole point of it all: God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. So he gives gifts. Different, colorful, varied, manifold gifts through that. Well, not the gifts themselves, but the grace is manifold, so that the gifts are diverse, so that in the end, God gets glory through Christ. I was like, it's so interesting. So we spent quite a bit going back and forth on varied grace. It's not general, broad. It's not like, here's my grace bucket, boom. It's very different.
So interesting. Do you think it's important for somebody to know what their gift is, what their gifting is, or do you think that just love the Lord and then just do stuff and that'll be your gift? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're asking the same thing. You start with just love the Lord and do stuff, and when you're doing stuff, your gift starts to become apparent. certain men that mentor me think more about that. Like Travis, we talk every day. He's one of the guys that's like, he says that the first thing he does when he's discipling is determine what this young brother's gift is, because then he knows how to put him. Like Tyler's obviously has the gift of leadership, and so that when
Is that obvious to you, Tyler? Would you have said, "Yep, that's my spiritual gift"?
I think it's good to talk through it, and I think it's good for I don't think it's necessarily wise, or I don't think you can understand your gifts unless other people see it and tell you.
Yeah.
So like I think it's important for Granger to tell me that. And not only does it encourage me, but it gives me some sort of responsibility if I am a leader to, again, ultimately to glorify God through that. And so if there is ever a time where I feel like I feel convicted, like maybe I shouldn't have handled it that way, that I get in prayer, thank God for the blessing of leadership and everything he's given me, and to steer me back in the right direction.
Yeah. So this comes in very, very valuable in mission work. It comes in valuable in anything like, say, sports camp, which is something we do at church, where we bring in community kids for a camp all week. And say if we're organizing sports camp and we go, okay, Tyler Smith, here's Tyler on the list. What could he do in sports camp? It's at that moment, it's imperative that we know, at least to some degree, what God's varied grace has gifted you with. And so I'm going, I don't want Tyler serving spaghetti. That's just not his gift. You will do fine at serving spaghetti. But I want Tyler leading these young boys, in football specifically. The young boys will respond, and Tyler will serve our church best because his gift is leadership, and those boys will look up to Tyler. Now, this person over here, man, they serve. They are so good at smiling and encouraging and dumping out spaghetti onto a plate. Like, they're going to crush that. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. But we don't want to mix those two things. We don't want that person out on the football field and Tyler serving spaghetti. So at that level, it's important to...
I think it's really important for people to recognize their spiritual gifts. So what is Parker's?
So, same. Parker's got the gift of leadership as well. Yeah.
Travis asked me within, I guess, a couple hours of meeting me, and I had never thought of it before. But he told me that he and Charmin said that they thought mine was encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that there's a way that you can become self-righteous.
How did they know that so quick after not meeting you?
We had talked. We had a couple hours of deep conversation, and she had said
encouragement, that you encourage others.
Yeah, that's a spiritual gift, is encouragement.
Huh.
And so she said,
I'm trying to wrap my head around that because I don't see that in you.
Well, they didn't. They only knew me for a couple hours, but she said,
Brian's in the background laughing behind the camera.
Do you see it? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I see leadership in Parker too.
Definitely encourages me.
But I see patience with Parker. For sure.
Really good discernment with Parker.
Good discernment. He thinks more than anybody I know on the planet. He thinks before he speaks, and he's quiet.
I think Parker also has a gift of teaching. I don't think you use that a lot yet, but I think you will. Because I think you teach well. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah,
Parker, go ahead.
Charmin had told Travis, she said, I think that Parker is a Barnabas, which is means son of encouragement, just based on our conversations, I guess. And so I know that there's you could become self-righteous with it. You can begin to, the Bible talks about having a disordered affections for, like the gifts and then the gift giver, and there's lots of people that put too much emphasis on the spiritual gifts, I think.
There's two dangers. I had a professor just telling me this. The dangers are putting too much emphasis or too little emphasis.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, and my personal temptation is putting too little, and a lot of people is too much, But anyway, to wrap that up, when Charmin and Travis had said that, I was encouraged by that, no pun intended. And he said to encourage somebody is literally to take them and to put courage in them.
Right.
So you see somebody at church, you go up to them and you say, "How's it going? We can do it. Love the Lord. We can do it. You can do it this week."
Yeah.
And then it's just like that person who was like deflated that morning has literally had you place courage in them, all prompted and powered by the Holy Spirit. And so I was just like, cool. So like I already text people all the time something I'm praying for them about. And so that like encouraged me to do that more. Just be like, who's somebody that I can text this morning and place courage in them on this Tuesday,
Yeah, so good, man. Love that. What is Mark? I mean, Mark hasn't mentored us. What does he say? He spent a lot of time with you.
Never once did we talk about spiritual gifts.
But I bet if we asked him, he would know, because although he might not speak about it specifically, Mark delegates and puts people in tasks and jobs and marriages, and
He put me in multiple teaching roles
Yeah.
at CHBC.
Yeah.
And he has told me that he follows 2 Timothy 2:2, which is to find men that can teach others also.
yeah,
So he's like, I love all of God's children. I'm going to teach them. I'm going to pastor them. I'm going to care for them. But there's certain people in particular that I feel like I'm going to find people that can teach others also, so that we can get into this like multiplication of Christianity.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's in the back of his head.
Yeah.
That's why he brought me on as an intern, was maybe not today, but at some point I'm pouring into Parker so that he could teach others, find others who can then teach others also, and so on and so on.
yeah. That's great.
So what's Granger's gift?
Honestly, I'm not good to ask, because I couldn't even tell you the spiritual gifts off the top of my head. Like that's, like I was saying, that's how little I think about it. Like I'd have to pull up, is it 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians? Like I don't even know where. I think there's multiple places that it talks about it. I know there's leadership, teaching, serving, giving. I don't know. I would have to look it up.
I can tell you what they're not, brother. Yeah, it's definitely leadership, but I mean,
and teaching.
it's bland to kind of say we're all the same, but leadership,
Well, we are brothers. I mean,
leadership, and whatever is there a spiritual gift for helping others? Like when you see, you've always done this even before you're a Christian. If somebody has a problem, you want to fix it. Like just yesterday, you were with Jesse, and you spent time to help him.
we got another one on his way right now.
I mean, you're doing your role as an elder, but I think you really enjoy doing that, though.
Yeah, I get great joy out of that. Yes.
There's also a sense in the Christian walk. I remember hearing Michael Reeves, who's an author, give a sermon, and he said the very first thing they had him do was take out garbage in his ministry. And he was like pissed, because he was like, I have a PhD, my gift is teaching. And he said that was like one of the best things for him, and just really simple humility. That I think it's easy also for us to be like, my gift is teaching. What are you talking about? And then at the end of the day, you can just see Jesus just being like, you want to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, serve.
Yeah.
What did
the
I do?
The greatest must be the least, must be the one that serves. Tyler, was right to say we shouldn't be the ones coming in with our gift. The person discipling us should delegate that and go, I see this in you. I want you in this role. That's important.
Mom told me the other day, I think this was after a trip to Michigan, which is good, because when other people say it, it's encouraging and you don't realize it. You might be struggling, but she said a lot of stuff, but I'll just say, she said, your love for the Lord is so evident in your life, and your love for others, and the way you care for me, for your grandmother, your family members, and your neighbors as yourself.
And amen to that. I see that in you too.
So
She's right.
Well, thank you, and maybe it goes hand in hand, because a lot of times I struggle with just like everybody does, but like you say something and you're like, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said that to Brian. I should have handled that differently, or you guys all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's encouraging to. I think she said that after we just got back from the Michigan trip with all the kids and stuff. But it's easy to love your kids.
You know, sometimes I think it's the opposite, though. I think personal family is actually some of the hardest people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't encourage you as much as I encourage, like, the average church member, probably. You know, for some reason, you know, I talk to pastors all the time that talk about how, you know, they'll be caring for all these other people, and then they'll forget about their wife and kids, and whether it be in their prayer time or in just caring for them.
Why do you think that is? Just because we see each other every day, family sees each other all the time.
I think so.
You're on a different relational level with them. Like, dude, shut up, man. You're good. You're you. I know you. I've known you my whole life. Like, yeah.
There's something about, I don't know. There's something about.
Well, it's also a squeaky wheel thing with pastors that when you're getting blown up by people needing to pour out their problems, and you chase it enough, and you realize, I have neglected my family. You know, that's the classic story in all the old books of like church order, and you read instructions to pastors to beware of that trap.
Yeah, it's a good reminder because especially us three working together, I think I've told you a lot in the past, managing your music career too. It's like you just go work mode. And sometimes everybody handles it differently, but I think I've told you before, it's like, man, I just want you to say, like, just tell me you love me, or tell me thank you, or, you know, because it's always work and we do so much for each other. So it's a good reminder for me to encourage Parker, like, hey, you crushed it on this launch, or what you do, Parker. Is
thanks.
And you do, Parker. You do crush it, man. And if we don't tell you enough.
I think you guys encourage me a lot. Appreciate it, though. Brian, do you know your spiritual gift?
See, he can't tell us. We have to tell him.
Has anyone ever told you? I guess
I think Brian's spiritual gift is.
Wait. Has anyone ever told you, or is this a conversation that you have had before? What have people said? Tyler?
Yeah. So, two things to that. I was gonna say he has an incredible heart and kindness. And then service, 100%. Brian will not even bat an eye when he's like, hey, dude, do you want me to go change your oil? Just give me your keys.
Or go to Chipotle with me.
Give me your keys and I'll go change your oil. And then I'll like, cool, here's money. He's like, no, I don't even want money. Or stuff like that all the time. I'm just like,
they're doing like a free photo shoot or video shoot for you.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know anybody that does that. And he does it because he genuinely wants to.
Yeah. Not
for an obligation or not for a pay, like, get me later. So yeah, he does it because it's a gift from God's varied grace.
Yeah, to bring that full circle.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good reminder that it's like I'm not special, Brian's not special. It's a gift from God, and we're all supposed to point others back to Him.
Is anything standing out to you in your readings this week, Tyler?
In my reading?
Yeah, just in your Bible reading or in any of your other reading of like a particular verse or anything that stood out.
No, I'm in Hebrews right now in my morning reading, and I need to be more intentional. I think it's normal for people to like resonate more with certain books, and I'm not feeling it right now, and I know I shouldn't be feeling it. I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit through Hebrews. I'm also reading through Matthew, I love Matthew. I'm reading through that with Ben on Wednesday morning. So we just finished chapter 3 and 4, which talks about locusts and honey, John the Baptist. There's a greater one coming. And then Jesus comes and asks John to baptize him. And I thought it was interesting how John was like, no, like, I'm not worthy. And it's like, what do we always do where Jesus says something and then we're always like, no, like we always like hesitate. Even John was hesitating, like, no, like even though it was good intention, like I'm not worthy.
Mm.
It's like, I don't know, it just struck me as like, man, we should give us the heart to just immediately obey. Like, what are we doing constantly every day where we're questioning God, what he's saying?
Mm. You're talking about Spalding in that?
Yeah.
You and Spalding? Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I was talking to Amy this morning. 2 things stood out to me. I'm in Matthew as well. And John the Baptist is beheaded. And Jesus says there's no one greater than John the Baptist. And what did Jesus do? Do you guys know? What did Jesus do when he found out? The disciples came and told him.
He cried, right?
John's dead.
He cried, right?
He pulled away.
Yeah. It says,
Pulled away from what?
he had John beheaded in the prison, and his head was brought on a platter and given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples came and took the body and buried it, and they went and told Jesus. Now when Jesus heard this, he withdrew from there in a boat to a desolate place by himself. And I just looked at that this morning
So
and kind
good.
of paused. I think it's just from listening to Travis's sermons and I'm also reading Spurgeon's. A lot of times it's just on one verse.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what was he doing? Why did he withdraw by himself? That's so interesting.
Well, I think to go along with what you're saying and to what I've been reading and thinking about a lot in my Bible too was the reminder that Jesus was fully human. That way, all the temptations that we feel, all the desires that we feel, he went through the same things. Fully human and fully God at the same time. So my mind goes to, what was he doing? He was fully human, so he was probably distraught, sad, needed to get away. Like, what would you do? You wouldn't want to be around a bunch of people.
Now when Jesus heard this, he withdrew from there in a boat to a desolate place by himself. But when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. And so Jesus is withdrawing to go to a place by himself. All these people are now following him because they want him to heal them. And so imagine, I would be pissed. You're just trying to go off by yourself
Weary
to
and
mourn
tired.
the loss of your friend.
Yeah.
But what is Jesus' reaction? When he went ashore, he saw the great crowd, and he had compassion on them, and he healed their sick.
Something we are supposed to do to model Christ, but something we won't ever achieve, him being the only perfect person to ever live.
So that's kind of like, yeah.
I would just keep withdrawing.
It's like
keep getting more pissed.
His human nature and his deity. Like, he hears about John, he withdraws by himself. Everyone follows him, and then what's his reaction? He has compassion on them.
It's like you at a meet and greet back in the show days, like 200 meet and greets, just exhausted, and then it's like somebody saying, Chris saying, "Here's 200 more. The venue wanted us to do this for sponsors or whatever."
Yeah.
Your reaction? You're like, "No, dude, I just want to go to the bus. I don't want to do this."
All right, and then last thing that I noticed in my reading this morning, for some reason it stood out today. Maybe it's because I was supposed to talk about it on this podcast, but just a paragraph later, so all those people show up, and then that's when he feeds the 5,000. He saw the great crowd, and when it was evening, then the disciples come to him and say they have nothing to eat, and then so Jesus feeds them, and then the disciples leave on a boat, and then Jesus walks on the water to them, and they think it's a ghost. And this part's just crazy. In the 4th watch of the night, he came to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It is a ghost." So just imagine this figure in the middle of the night walking on the water. And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it's I." And Peter said, "Lord, if it's you, if that's really you," so he's like, he sees this figure, "Lord, if that's you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." And I was like, oh man, that could be a whole sermon. Peter's words sinking is just, Lord, save me. That's all he says. And Jesus's reaction. Do you know Jesus's reaction?
Where are you right now?
I'm in Matthew
I'm
14.
going to go to the Greek.
Matthew 14:5.
14.
Or excuse me, Matthew 14:30. So Peter sees the wind. He's walking on the water toward Jesus, and then he begins to sink in this sea. So imagine how terrifying this would be in the dark water below. And it says he cries out, Lord, save me. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying, oh, you have little faith. Why did you doubt?
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, wow, that's a sermon. Like, what else does Jesus want but just, Lord, save me? And then Jesus immediately reaches out. He doesn't hesitate. I was like, wow, that's just a picture of our Lord.
And then don't forget verse 33. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the reaction.
Yeah, that's the same thing, kind of similar to what I was talking about with John the Baptist, and when God says something and we immediately kind of question. It's the same kind of thing. And with Matthew 3, when Jesus sees Peter, Simon, and Andrew fishing, says, follow me.
Hmm.
And then it says immediately they left their nets and followed him.
Mm.
Like, that's a sign of, like, that's what we should do. Immediately they, like, imagine somebody walking in right now that you've never met before and says, follow me. No, it wouldn't happen. But God just put it on their hearts to immediately dropped everything, followed him.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think everyone,
Which is
at
what
some
we should
point in
do.
their life, has to get to that point where they say, Lord, save me. You know, whether that be you on the county road here that day in 2023, where those are the only three words you can get out, or whether that be Granger in the dark night of the soul, when all you could say was Jesus, help me, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I was like, Brian has
To wrap this up all the way back around to the heat in Texas, Brian has a fan on the camera right now because it's hot up here. Oh, one more thing I want to add
Sorry, I'm just looking into this text. It's so fascinating.
before we wrap up, if we're wrapping up. We've talked about it. If you've lasted this long, I appreciate that, and thank you for listening. Would you come, the listeners, would you come to the Yee Farm for free at the end of this month, which is August, if we open the doors, and get a preview of our fall launch before anybody else? Maybe we have a taco truck. Maybe Granger comes. You would obviously be here. Me, Parker, maybe the family. Hang out with us and be able to buy all the merch that we have here, and then plus buy the merch before anybody else in the fall. Kind of talking out loud here.
Do a little duff hunt out here?
You've wanted to do it.
Yeah, I've been
for a
wanting to
while.
do this long time. Yeah.
But I just, we just kind of want to get out. So if you would, we want to get an idea. Say, yes, I would come. I would be there. Or no, I can't travel, etc. The end of August doesn't work for me. Just would love to see if like 5 people will show up or like 100. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know about that.
Be hot. It'll be hot.
We have the whole store at 50% off right now. We're clearing the shelves, and we don't do this very often. So every single item in the Yee store right now is 50% off, and that ends tonight. So
It must mean we got some cool stuff coming in.
yeah, we're clearing the shelves, getting ready for the new season. Granger, was there anything you wanted to add on that verse of the Greek?
No, I was just looking for anything that stood out that was different than what we were already seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And at once Jesus stretched out his hand or extended. So it's immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him. At once Jesus extended his hand and took hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
Would be like the rendering.
Everybody's seen that artwork you know, of Jesus in the waves,
So like
Peter drowning.
the New King James, what is ESV? You had that up. What does it say? He took out his hand and what?
ESV says Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is caught. Yeah. So I think that's a cool rendering. Instead of caught, took hold of him. Yeah, that's neat.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week on the podcast.